This portion of the workout is all about finding your balance and coordination. Perform these practice sessions before the push and play workouts that we'll talk about later on, or you could even do them on your off days. Just make sure to alternate between practice A and practice B so you don't do them both on the same day. In regards to reps, the structure should be very relaxed. Set a timer for 10 minutes and get as many reps in as you can. Just keep in mind quality over quantity. This is not meant to be a hardcore workout, so you should not be getting sore or fatigued from practice sessions. This is simply practice for technique and balance. You'll find 2 sets of videos by scrolling down. The first set consists of practice A, which is to help you learn the crow pose. This is a nice introduction to using your hands for balance and improving your body awareness. Practice B is where you'll learn how to cartwheel. This is important because this is how we exit the handstand safely, and by practicing this, you'll also improve your spatial awareness and confidence. If you're absolutely positive that you can crow pose and cartwheel, feel free to skip that portion and move on to the second set of drills, which consists of practice A advanced, which will help with overbalance, and practice B advanced, which will help with underbalance. Overbalance is when the weight starts to shift towards the fingers, and underbalance is when the weight starts to shift towards the heel of your palms. You'll work specific drills to teach you what to do in those instances so you can stay on your hands longer and one day unlock the handstand and handstand push-up. Alright, we're going to learn the crow pose where you are floating, balancing on your hands with your knees resting on your elbows. But we're not going to start there. We're going to start with your head on the ground. So I recommend you use something nice and soft, and you're going to place your hands shoulder width apart, your head on the ground, and you're going to practice getting into the headstand. Now, if you're a little worried about that position, that's okay. You can practice here and finding the right position, because if you are placing your head right in between your hands, you're not going to have any support. You're not going to be able to engage your hands as well. And if you try to bring your feet off the ground, you will most likely fall over. And so you want to have a nice triangle between your head and your hands. Find the right position. Spend some time here, and then you can get one knee on your elbow and then the other knee on your elbow. You could do this along the wall if you want to. It's most likely not going to be necessary, but if you have fear holding you back, it's okay to start against the wall. Once you're comfortable with the headstand, you're going to practice lifting your head off of the ground by engaging your fingers. And you'll notice that my elbows have to lean back a little bit, but then they shift forward to refine that balance. So from the headstand, engage your fingers, lean back a little bit, look up. And the amount is subtle. It's just a little bit backward, and a little bit forward with your elbows. Now, at first, you're most likely going to push and come back. That's okay. I actually want you to do that so that you could calibrate and push back less so you land softer and slower to the point where you can pause in this position. Now, I want you to take a look at what I'm doing with my hands. My fingers are really splayed out, and I'm gripping the ground as if I'm grabbing a really wide pull-up bar. And this is what allows me to have a really good base of support and engage my fingers so that I'm able to balance. I want you to take this idea or technique, whatever you want to call it, into all the hand balancing progressions in this program. Now, as a little bonus, I want you to work on transitioning between the headstand and the crow pose. Now that you're able to rebalance, get into the crow or headstand, and then you're going to transition between the two, placing your head softly and lifting your head off of the ground. And this really solidifies the position. It really tells you that you understand the technique and you're good to balance. To learn the cartwheel, we're going to break this down in a way that it's not so intimidating but easy to understand. So we're going to start off here in this stance where your legs are separated from each other. One leg is in front of the other, and you're going to place your hand down on the ground to where your hand and 2 feet make a line. And what I want you to do here is visualize a 90-degree angle or a triangle. You're going to place one hand on the opposite side of that triangle, and you're going to step over in that position so that you are following that 90-degree angle. So Again, now you're in that position where one foot is in front of the other. Your hand goes down to the ground so that it forms a straight line. Place your other hand on the outside of that 90-degree angle, step and step. When you get more comfortable with that, then you can give yourself a little hop. And then as you get more comfortable with that, give yourself a bigger hop. And then you can keep following this 90-degree angle until your legs are totally straight. Now you might be thinking that's not a cartwheel, and that's totally fine. It looks like one and acts like one. It's exactly the same process. The only difference is you're cutting it at an angle. As you get better with it, then you're gonna open up that angle just a little bit to where you're here and you're almost forming a straight line. And then when you can do that comfortably, you're going to follow a fully straight line. One foot is in front of the other, hand goes down to the ground, the other hand reaches over, you kick, and you always follow that same line. Now the standard is that you can get your legs to extend. So at that 90-degree angle, if you can get your legs straight, try to kick up a little higher. When you feel comfortable with it, then open up the angle until you can make a fully straight line and perform a cartwheel. Heel pulls. You're going to start off with your handstand back to wall, and you're going to pull your heels off of the wall, which is why they're called heel pulls. So you're going to set up your position about 6 to 12 inches away from the wall. You're going to shrug your shoulders up to your ears, round your back, and you're going to make sure that the back leg is straight as you kick up back to wall. Try to land as softly as possible. Bring your feet together, squeeze your butt, and you're going to push your shoulders up to your ears, look in between your hands, and with your fingers, you're going to work on pulling your your heels off of the wall. Use your fingers as much as you can, but don't do this, okay? We're not kicking off the wall. Keep everything tight, keep your legs straight. If you get into a position where you can pause and hold it, that is awesome. But realistically, at first, you're just gonna work on pulling your heels off of the wall, only using your fingers. But you need to make sure that your body is nice and long by pushing your shoulders up to your ears and squeezing your butt. This exercise is called a toe pull, and I recommend you wear socks for this one. We're gonna start chest to wall handstand. I'm gonna cartwheel into it, but I'll show you a different way of getting into it. The idea here is to squeeze your body, squeeze your butt, squeeze your abs, and you're going to lean forward, sliding your feet down on the wall. And you'll notice that the further you lean forward, the lighter your feet get to the point where they come off of the wall. Now, if you overdo it, you're going to lose balance. So you have to step out and split your legs like a cartwheel, which is why it's super important to learn how to bail out safely. Now, if it's a little nerve-wracking to cartwheel in and out of it, you could tuck and walk your feet in. And then if you do the drill and you lose balance, you could also tuck. I just recommend you take that step out first. As you get more confident with it, I'd like you to step your hands out further away from the wall, which challenges your shoulders more and your body awareness more. And so you're going to have to lean forward to still get that same light feet effect. Now, this is what we're doing for right now is once your feet come off the wall, push back in. Once that feels good, you're going to step out and repeat that same process until your feet get really light. Essentially what we're doing is we're going from an open shoulder position to closed shoulder. Handstand to planche lean, open, closed. Once you have a good distance between you and the wall for this drill, I want you to start back close to the wall, but now watch what I'm going to do. You get your hands a little closer, keep your body tight, lean forward. Once your feet come off the wall, pause, and you're going to coordinate your shoulders moving towards the wall as your feet move away from the wall. A mental cue for yourself that might help is that once you lean forward and you're ready to move into handstand, picture your shoulders moving towards the wall as your feet move towards the ceiling. So lean forward, feet move towards the ceiling,
And then you can continue progressing this by taking a step out, lean forward, feet are light, and moving your shoulders towards the wall, feet towards the ceiling.
The further your hands are away from the wall, the more challenging it's going to be on your shoulders. So what happens is you might be tempted to arch your back as you lean forward, and you'll notice that you're not going to be able to get your feet off of the wall. So what we need to do is regress, squeeze, keep your body tight, and that way you're going to be able to get your feet nice and light and pop into handstand. Then once you get the rhythm and the coordination down well, you can keep challenging yourself by walking your hands further away from the wall, and this is going to lay a really good base to your handstand and handstand push-up training.